All right, greetings everyone, and welcome to the I almost said Restream recap. Boy, I almost combined those words into something that would have been unfortunate. And today we're featuring music from Final Fantasy Not. We're listening from a different game series, which has an 8 in it. I don't think it's super surprising. I've definitely used this music before, and it's very beach themed to go with the beach news that we're getting tonight. So life's a beach, let's get into it. So today's live stream, I think that Globalers can be potentially really excited for this because I think that you guys will not have to wait too terribly long at all to get this brand new character. And let's get right into it. Say hello to Summer Glacie. Yep, not really any surprises this time around for a live stream because it's essentially who we all knew it was going to be. But again, it has changed her element going from water to fire to wind and now back to water again. This time a sword based class that is in, I do believe this is 100% correct. So I'm going to say 99.9 just in case something changes between now and tomorrow, which is basically that she is a sword-based class in the same grouping as Ferris. So you can already see water elemental character, sword, and red mage group. She is going to be Ferris's best friend, especially because this is a tank unit. That's right, water is getting a brand new tank with some brand new tricks. So let's take a look. First off, job is going to be a new one with subs being Thief and Dragoon. Now, Dragoon is actually kind of interesting here because Dragoon does have one singular buff that is quite interesting because it gives Protect, which, you know, given that this is going to be a physical-based dealing damage physical tank, at least from what I've garnered so far, this is a pretty good addition for a sub job, and Thief is potentially a fair amount of mobility and maybe even charm, which could be interesting for another reason that we're going to talk about. As for the Limit Burst is a short ranger but deals damage and also gives a 2-turn big boost, and this is classified as a big boost towards AoE resistance. So basically Glacie's Limit Burst, which is water themed by the way, she's on a surfboard in the ocean, so no complaints for a water elemental character, but essentially is going to be boosting a fair amount of her survivability. Now scrolling down, she is essentially described as a tank. She will have a heat up, so no worries about some nonsense, but let's go through some of the stuff. Swimsuit Glacie, set to appear on August 1st, is an anti-physical tank that can protect allies in different ways than before until now. Instead of avoiding damage to allies by receiving attacks, she plays an active role as a character that protects allies while increasing their durability. Now, performance-wise, this character is going to increase endurance while attacking with a tank that is strong against physics, can cancel re-raise against up to 2 bodies, and increase her own endurance. That is the ability down here in the bottom left. Next up, Immortal Mating gives a guts to herself. So this bottom one right down here basically gives her, you know, immune to a fatal damage, while also giving an interesting new feature. Now, for Globalers, you guys have gotten Bart's and you are aware of his follow-up attack potential. They allow to that in a tank. So this has basically a 4 square and 1 height difference AoE range around Glacie that if another ally is attacked within that range, Glacie will actually have an aura effect that will protect those characters, which is quite an interesting and, dare I say, even enticing ability because it is just very strong. If you look at both Ferris and Glacie on a team together, that is a very potentially incredibly durable team with a lot of synergy between each other. Now, 2 limited 100 cost units, that's definitely a tall price to pay, but anyway. Moving on, also we have a large reduction for damage with characters within range, shouldering an EX buff that basically something can be reduced. We also get transformation of certain abilities into her EX of a 4-turn recovers, HP percentage, increases allies hit rate, and also possessing a cross range attack that has a 100% accuracy stop effect, which you can see in the top right here. Last but not least, she also has an ability to destroy barriers and grant barriers to herself. And as I said earlier, she is capable of increasing her own hatred. Long story short, I think Glacie is looking like an incredible addition to the water element. And with training a brand new weapon, a campaign to help raise her, and a brand new VC. Now this VC, a 70 cost job VC, we actually have some early details on it since it will be coming out at the same day as Glacie. And if you think that's suspicious, you'll see why in a second. So this new VC is a limited time VC that works for Sword, Red Mage, Fist, and Katana. So Preen, Astrius, and Ferris all work in combination with this VC. And the VC gives range attack resistance, acquired AP up, and weakness resistance. So basically debuffing resistance. Whatever. It also possesses a vision card ability that gives a damage reduction reaction for a 3-turn and on a strike attack. So not entirely sure about the wording on that one, but basically a vision ability that has some kind of damage reduction capability as well as potentially a strike damage ability. Curious. I'll be interested to see what this VC. But in combination of everything that we've basically seen over the last few months, I'm really actually quite getting a little wiggly for this banner, and we'll probably be doing some polls for this character tomorrow because it's an incredibly strong character, a water elemental physical tank, which is something fairly new that is really updated and incredibly synergistic with my Ferris. I am Ferrising very well with this so far. So yeah, I think it's exciting. I think this looks like an awesome character, and I'm really excited to see how strong she ends up being, potentially pushing water into being completely relevant in today's day and age. But a character in a VC coming on the same day is incredibly suspicious, and you are right to be suspicious because here is the next thing. A water at least now I'm getting ahead of myself. It's a 90 cost VC, which means that it will be another dual elemental VC with a dark Esper, this time dark Siren, which almost certainly guarantees us with the character and what we're seeing here that it will be a water Esper. But details were not elaborated on as to what the effects will be, but it will be a water and earth VC, which is a little scary because water in combination with earth is very strong against lightning. It's very strong in general, and that might be the new meta. Maybe it's going to be a Melnia, Ferris, and Glacie combination that's just going to be all killer, no filler, but only time will tell. Either way, going to be an expensive month for water use. Continuing on, we also have the regular campaigns leading into a mini raid. That's right, a mini raid, which I love these because they're tiny and they don't take up a ton of time. And basically August 1st, we're going to be getting this little mini raid against Kraken, and you will get a Moogle Ball, beach ball, which is a super fun little piece of equipment to get for the summertime. So cool. Next up, Porcelain Tower will be returning already with the water floors to increase the water ring to its +1 version. So that makes now water, ice, and lightning all having their +1 version, and it makes sense given all the other water stuff we've talked about. Next up, new story starting on the 17th, which is an interesting time frame because the 17th of August is a Thursday right before the 24th, which basically means that the mid-month update is actually going to be a couple days late to align closer to the end of the month. And if you remember last year, oh, we'll hold on to that thought for a second. There was also some other details, ROG phone campaign for retweets, as well as some interesting factoids from JP. First off, home unit screen popularity. Number 1 is Safi, number 2 Stern, 3 is Bridal Alaya, and here are the rest for the top 10. Somehow Yuna got in there. Congrats, Yuna. Most reincarnated characters on JP. Ramada was number 1, Lucio number 2, Assassin number 3, with Camilo and going all the way down to number 9. So interesting factoids. And then next up, we also have the top usage for Espers, which, no surprise, Odin, Chaos Odin, Bahamut's are right up there. However, Diablo might be a bit of a surprise for some people. Last, as we move closer to the end, or second last, I should say, water unit popularity, which is kind of interesting to see. Top 5 look great to me. And next up, wave battle. Now here you can see the actual completion ratios of these wave battles right here. So this one, and this one being all the way to the wave 8 through 10 completion, 11% for this one, 4%, and 7%, about 6.5% roughly, which I think is kind of interesting stats for people who might be struggling with some of these and wondering, what is the completion rate? How many people actually complete these? There you go. So yeah, taking a look at all of this news, I have to say I'm quite excited for the beginning of the month of August. And now let's just talk about one final thing. 24th. Now, the 24th is an interesting date because last year, that's basically when we saw the Dragon Quest collaboration show up with Pizarro and Zoma, and this might be an indication of when our next collaboration is going to be. Might be a 70 cost character in the middle of the month, potentially beach unit, potentially story unit, more likely to be story unit. And then the 24th, because of such a short time frame, is more than likely going to be when our next collaboration will start, whether it will be an old, new, or in-between collaboration, whatever that means. Keep a close eye because, yeah, more details coming soon. So thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully you found it informative, interesting, and generally pretty chill. But that's going to be it for me. So tomorrow night on Livestream, I will be doing polls for Miss Glacie, and we'll see if I'm first. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.